7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the 2025 NAIA Football National Championship Selection Show. Get ready as we set the stage in the battle for the Red Banner. 20 teams have been selected into the championship field and will compete to be the last team remaining and be crowned champions. Action in the 70th annual NAIA Football Championship Series gets underway on November 22nd at 4 sites around the country and will continue each Saturday until 2 teams remain. Those programs will travel to Fort Worth, Texas for the national championship game, which will be played at the Crowley ISD Multipurpose Stadium on December 20th, broadcast free on Urban Edge Network and the NAIA Network. Dreams of reaching the Football Championship Series can be realized in 2 ways. Each conference determines who their automatic qualifiers are. Teams can earn their bid by becoming champions of their conference or division. The rest of the teams are determined by the NAIA Football Selection Committee, comprised of NAIA head coaches and administrators from around the nation. Are you ready? The announcement of the Football Championship Series teams starts now. Before we look at this year's first round matchups, let's take a look at the top 12 teams who will play their first games in the NAIA Football Championship Series in the second round on November 29th. The number 1 overall seed in the 2025 NAIA Football Championship Series are the Vikings of Grandview. The Vikings are the champions of the Heart of America Athletic Conference North and look to defend their 2024 national championship. Grandview enters the championship series unbeaten at 10-0, led by their senior quarterback Jackson Waring, a 2025 Campbell Trophy finalist who's thrown for 26 touchdowns in 2025. Over 10 games in 2025, the Vikings averaged 41 points and 430 yards of total offense. The Seahawks of Kaiser are the number 2 seed in this season's Football Championship Series, earning an automatic berth out of the Sun Conference with a 10-0 record. Kaiser continued an impressive 26-game conference winning streak dating back till 2021, and the 2025 Seahawks averaged more than 500 yards of total offense. Kaiser is in search of its 4th straight NAIA Football Championship game appearance, winning the Red Banner back in 2023. The Montana Tech Ore Diggers are the 3rd seed in the NAIA Football Championship Series, earning their way into the championship series by winning the East in the Frontier Conference. One of the 2 11-0 teams in the field, Montana Tech is led by Levi Torgensen, who has had nearly 1,900 all-purpose yards, including nearly 1,100 yards receiving. Defensively, Montana Tech allows the 4th fewest points per game by opponents. The number 4 overall seed in the 2025 NAIA Football Championship Series comes from the Bissell Division of the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference, where the Falcons of Friends University saw historic production on the ground, leading the NAIA with one of the best rushing averages in college football at 482 yards per game. Friends led the NAIA in both points per game and points against, outscoring opponents 58-11 on average. The Falcons quarterback Cavante Baker leads the NAIA with 26 rushing touchdowns. The number 5 seed in the 2025 NAIA Football Championship Series are the Ravens of Benedictine. Led by Jackson Dooley, who became Benedictine's all-time leading passer earlier this season, the Ravens are the champions of the Heart of America Athletic Conference South, entering the postseason with a record of 10-1. Benedictine averages more than 51 points per game, winning 9 straight going into the postseason, averaging 55 points per game in that stretch. Our next team among the top 12 are the 6-seeded Knights of Marion. The champions out of the MSFA Midwest, Marion has won 10 in a row, averaging the 8th most points in the NAIA at 46 points per game. Keegan LaBelle has 21 rushing touchdowns for Marion, 3rd in the NAIA, and earlier this season he became the Knights' all-time single-season rushing touchdown leader. As a team, Marion averages 222 rushing yards per game. The 7th-seeded team in this year's Football Championship Series is Lindsey Wilson, the 2025 champions and automatic qualifier out of the Mid-South Conference. The Blue Raiders are 9-1 and led by Devontae Saunders, who leads the NAIA at almost 147 rushing yards per game. Saunders fronts the ground game that has averaged nearly 224 yards per game in 2025, as the Blue Raiders have won 3 in a row, averaging 46 points per game in that stretch and 43.6 for the season. The College of Idaho is the number 8 seed in the championship series with an overall record of 9-1 and champions of the Frontier West. The Yotes average nearly 400 yards per game of total offense, 204 on the ground, and they haven't lost a game in nearly 2 months, entering the FCS on a 6-game win streak. The Yotes threw 17 touchdown passes as a team, finding 6 different receivers for scores in 2025. The number 9 seed in the 2025 NAIA Football Championship Series is the automatic qualifier from the Great Plains Athletic Conference, the Mustangs of Morningside University. The Mustangs enter with a prolific passing attack, averaging 340 yards per game through the air on the arm of quarterback Zach Savalier, who threw 40 touchdown passes in the regular season, 17 to Drew Sellen, who led the NAIA in touchdown catches and yards receiving at 123 per game. The Defenders of Dordt are our next top 12 team, checking in at the number 10 seed in the Football Championship Series. The Defenders earned an at-large berth from the Great Plains Athletic Conference. At 9-1 on the year, Dordt is a high-powered rushing team, averaging 247 rushing yards per game, while the Defenders live up to their name, surrendering just 14.1 points per game to opponents, 4th best in the NAIA. The number 11 seed in the field is Indiana Wesleyan, as the Wildcats enter the postseason by winning the MSFA Mid-East automatic bid at 9-2. Indiana Wesleyan averages the most passing yards in the 2025 postseason field, throwing for 358 yards per game to average 528 yards of total offense per contest. Our final top 12 team is Campbellsville, the number 12 seed in this year's championship series. The Tigers are an at-large selection and come from the Mid-South Conference, entering the postseason with an overall record of 8-2. Campbellsville averages 283 passing yards per game, led by Jet Angle, who threw 27 touchdown passes in the regular season, finding 13 different receivers on scoring plays this year. Now that we know the top 12 seeds, let's take a look at the first round matchups in the 2025 Football Championship Series. Our first matchup will be played in Oskaloosa, Iowa, where the Statesmen of William Penn are the number 13 seed in the championship series, earning an at-large bid out of the Heart of America Athletic Conference North at 10-1 on the year. They'll take on the automatic qualifier out of the Sooner Athletic Conference, the 20th seeded Rams of Texas Wesleyan, who enter the postseason with an overall record of 7-4. The next game in the 2025 NAIA Football Championship Series first round is out west in Helena, Montana, where the 8-2 Saints of Carroll College are the number 14 seed, earning an at-large berth out of the Frontier West. They'll host another at-large qualifier as the 17th seeded Bobcats of St. Thomas make the trip out of the Sun Conference with a record of 7-3. The Sunshine State will see the next game in the 2025 Football Championship Series as the Fire of Southeastern earned an at-large selection with the 15th seed with a regular season record of 8-2. They'll host the automatic qualifier and champion of the Appalachian Athletic Conference, the 19th seeded Reinhardt Eagles with a record of 7-3. Our final matchup in this year's Football Championship Series takes us to the middle of the country, where the Cougars of the University of St. Francis, Indiana, are the number 16 seed, earning an at-large selection out of the MSFA Midwest with an overall record of 9-2. They'll host the 18th seeded Evangel Valor, champions of the Kessinger Division, and the KCAC entering the postseason with a record of 9-2. Let's take one final look at the 20 teams who will compete in the 70th annual NAIA Football Championship Series. Thanks for watching and good luck to our qualifiers. The battle for the Red Banner begins now. Visit NAIA.org/watch to learn how you can catch the NAIA postseason action live and free of charge on the NAIA Network and Urban Edge Network.